This tutorial is going to demonstrate how to do a Mann Whitney U test on R. A Mann Whitney U test is used to compare whether there is a difference in the dependent variable for two independent groups. It is a non-parametric version of a t-test, which means that it's usually used for data that is not normally distributed. So the research question we are going to look at is whether masculine and feminine Star Wars characters differ in their height. So the first thing we need to do is install and load the dippler package, as this is where the Star Wars data is stored on R. To install the package, you simply type install.packages and then in brackets and quotation marks dippler, and then to load it you simply type library and then in brackets and quotation marks dippler. Remember that on R, you only have to install a package once and your R environment will remember it forever. But every time you want to use it, like when you start a new script, then you need to load it in using the library function. So now that we have loaded in this package, we can now view the Star Wars dataset, and we can do this by using the view function, remembering that view has a capital V. And here is our data. So our dependent variable is going to be height, and our independent variable is going to be gender, so whether the character is masculine or feminine. The two main assumptions of a Mann Whitney U test are that the two groups are independent, so this case is our masculine and feminine characters, and that the dependent variable is either ordinal or continuous, so in this case that's our height variable. However, in order to report the differences between groups as medians, the shape of the distributions of the dependent variable by group must be similar. And it doesn't matter if this distribution has a different location on the x-axis, but they must be a similar shape. So we can check this by creating a histogram. But first we need to create height by gender variables like this. And then we can make our histograms using the hist function, like this. And here are our histograms. As you can see, the two distributions have a similar pattern, so the medians can be used to summarise the differences. We can also use the histograms to check the distribution of the data, and as you can see, the data is slightly skewed, particularly in the female group. So this is why a Mann Whitney U test would be more appropriate than a t-test. Now we are ready to run the Mann Whitney U test. The Mann Whitney U test will test the null hypothesis, which is there will be no difference in height between the masculine and feminine characters. So this means that the null hypothesis can be rejected if the p-value is less than 0.05. However, please do check if your supervisor has other cut-off points. To run a Mann Whitney U test, you can use the Wilcox test function, where the default test is actually a Mann Whitney U for this type of data. So the basic formula is Wilcox.test and then your dependent variable, a tilde, and then the independent variable. So for example, we will use the following code, where we have our dependent variable, which is height, a tilde, and then our independent variable, which is gender. And here are our results. As you can see, there is a significant difference between masculine and feminine characters' heights, and this is indicated by our p-value, which you can see here. So this is the full script from this tutorial, and you can use this to have a go yourself.